Hey guys, so today is Tuesday, October 13th, and I'm going to go over the lesson that we did in class today. Lesson 4, graphing linear equations when they're in y equals mx form as well as y equals mx plus b form. So first let's talk about y equals mx form. So that's when you have to begin at the origin. There is no plus b that's listed there, so it's safe to say it's as if the equation has plus 0. So you begin at 0, 0, the origin, and then you move based on the slope. If the slope is a positive number, then you'll be going up and to the right. If the slope is negative, you'll be going down and to the right. So just do two quick examples. Let's say it's y equals 3x is a linear equation. 3 is positive, so you'll be going up and to the right. If you have y equals negative 4x, the slope is negative 4, so you'll be going down and then to the right. And you would write these over 1. So up 3, right 1, down 4, down 4, right 1. Okay, now let's look at if the linear equations are in y equals mx plus b form. Okay, so then you have a y-intercept that is not 0. It's going to be at a different number. So you're going to begin at the b on the y-axis. So whatever this b is, so a quick example, y equals 2x plus 1, you would begin at 1. 1 would be the b. So that would be the 1 on the y-axis. That's the y-intercept, the point 0, 1. So that's where you would start or begin. Then you move based on the slope. So if it's a slope of 2, that's positive. So you'd be going up 2, right 1. You're always going to be going to the right at least one box, because if there's no number underneath, you're going to put a 1. So it'd be 2 over 1, which is the same thing as 2. Okay. All right, so now let's graph some examples. So we have y equals negative 2x. I'm going to write my slope-intercept formula to help me. Y equals mx plus b. Okay. All right, so let's see what the m is and what the b is. So my m is the number in front of the x, so that's going to be negative 2. And it looks like my b would be a number that would be listed afterwards. There isn't anything listed, so it's safe to say that this is as if the equation was adding 0. So it would be like negative 2x plus 0. So my b is 0 and my m is negative 2. Okay, so let's begin with the 0, begin with the b. So if b equals 0, that means I'm going to begin at the point 0, 0, the origin. So let's go ahead and do that. There's my first point. Now the m is negative 2. We need to write slope as a fraction. So we're going to divide it by 1. You can divide any number by 1 and it is still the same number. So negative 2 over 1 is how I'm rewriting my slope because we want it to be a fraction. Then we're going to look at how to move. So the negative 2 tells us that we'll be going down 2, and the positive 1 tells us we'll be going to the right 1. Negative slope tells us we're going down and then to the right. So down 2, right 1. Okay, so let's go ahead and move that way. So we're going to start at 0, 0, go down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1. Then you can go in reverse. So what's the opposite of down 2? Up 2. Opposite of right 1 would be left 1. So go back to where we started, the origin. Up 2, left 1. Up 2, left 1. Up 2, left 1. Up 2, left 1. Okay, then you connect them. Draw your arrows and label it. Y equals negative 2x. And then the last thing that I always like to check, which is a really good idea for you guys as well, is to look at that slope. So our slope we said was negative. It's a negative 2. So if our slope is negative, our line should be going downward. So as I scan from left to right, think you read from left to right. As I go from left to right, my line is going downward. So that makes sense because it's a negative slope. Great. Okay, let's look at the next one. Okay, so y equals negative 2x plus 5. I'm going to write my equation y equals mx plus b under it to help me. M is the coefficient in front of the x, the number in front of the x, and the b is the number being added or subtracted at the end. Okay, So in this case, my m is -2, and my b is 5. My b being 5 tells me that I'm going to begin at the point 0, 5. This is my y-intercept. Zoom out a little bit. Okay, so that's my y-intercept, 0, 5. So let's go ahead and plot that point before we forget. So I'm going to go to 0, 5. That's my y-intercept. Now my slope is -2, which if you remember, that's the exact same slope that we had up here. So the slope is -2. We have to write it as a fraction. And then just like the first problem, we're going down 2, right 1. And then when you reverse it, you're going to be going up 2, left 1. This is how we move. Think m move. Okay, so this is how we start, and then this is when we go backwards. So it's the same slope, but there is a difference between these lines. So make sure you're looking for that. Okay, we're going to go down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1. Okay. Backwards. Go back to where we started at b being 5, up 2, left 1. Okay, connect them. Arrows and label. Y equals -2x plus 5. Okay, so let's see. What's the difference between these two? They have the same exact slope. They're both going downward at the same steepness. But the difference is that this one started at the point 0, 5, whereas this one started at the origin. The only difference is that this one was -2x plus 5, and the other one was just -2x, or like -2x plus 0. The y-intercept was the only difference between those two, so they simply are just located at different spots on the y-axis, but the same slope. Okay, all right, 2 more. Y equals 1/4 x minus 3. Okay, so y equals mx plus b. What's my m? What's my b? Okay, the m is the number in front of the x, so 1/4. And my b here is going to be -3. This is as if it was plus a -3. -3 is the same thing as plus -3. So we have to include that sign. Okay, so my m, my slope, is 1/4. And then my y-intercept is -3. So I'm going to think b begin at -3 on the y-axis, which is the point 0, -3. Okay, now the m tells us how much to move. So if it's 1/4, +1 tells us we'll be going up 1. And then the bottom is always to the right. Positives are to the right. Up 1, right 4. Okay, so that's how much we're going to be moving. And then I'm going to reverse it. Up 1, the opposite would be down 1. Opposite of right 4 would be left 4. Okay, so these are the different ways that we will be moving because of our slope. All right, so I began at the point 0, -3. Now I'm going to go up 1, right 4. Up 1, right 4. Reverse it. Down 1, left 4. Down 1, left 4. You notice this has a very low slope. It's not that steep because it's 1/4, which is less than 1. It's a pretty small number in terms of slope. Arrows, label it 1/4 x minus 3. Okay, let's check it over. It should be crossing at -3 on the y-axis because there's a -3 in the spot of the b. And then we have a positive slope of 1/4. As you scan from left to right, it's going upward. So yeah, it's positive slope. It's going in the right direction. Looks good. Okay. And the last one is y equals x plus 7. Okay. Y equals mx plus b. Let's think about what the m is and what the b is. So the b is the number being added on the end. So our b is 7. Our m, you can't see a number here in front of the x, so it's an invisible 1 being multiplied by an x. The coefficient is always 1 if you can't see it. You can't see the number that's in front of it. So m equals 1. So our slope is 1, which written as a fraction is 1 over 1. Positive 1 tells us we'll be going up 1, right 1. Reverse it, opposite will be down 1, left 1. Okay, so a positive slope, we're going up and then to the right. Our b, our y-intercept, this is how we will move. Our b is a positive 7, so that means we will begin at the point 0, 7, which is 7 on the y-axis. So let's go ahead and plot that. This is our y-intercept, where the line intercepts the y-axis, which will be right here at 7. Okay, so we plotted our first point. We begin at 7, and now we're going to move. Our slope is 1, so up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1. Reverse, down 1, left 1, down 1, left 1. Down 1, left 1, down 1, left 1. All right, connect. Y equals x plus 7. Double check your slope. It says it's a positive slope, right? Positive x, positive 1x. And sure enough, as I go from left to right, my line is going upward, positive slope, and it crosses at 7 as our y-intercept. Okay, so I hope that helps you guys. All right, bye.